PuTTY inserts random characters during a session. I recently started renting space on a remote server so that I could work on a project. I found that a relatively painless way to access it on a Windows machine is through PuTTY. However, there is one thing that has always irked me when using it. For seemingly no reason, random characters are sometimes inserted at the cursor. Most of the time it is just a single tilde, but rarely it spits out what looks like some escape sequence, 8 or the like. It will only occur when I am focused on the window, whether I am typing or 20 feet away from the keyboard. If left for long enough, it will spit tildes at random intervals, average is about 1 minute. Finally, this behavior seems to be inconsistent when running programs such as Nano or the MySQL interface. In Nano, instead of inserting tildes, it will set marks, Control-. In MySQL, lines will become uneditable. My question is this: has anyone else experienced this sort of behavior in PuTTY? And if so, what can be done to prevent/correct this behavior?
I had the same problem with PuTTY and found that it was being caused by an application I have called Caffeine, which effectively presses the F13 key every minute to stop the screensaver from being activated. Group policies prevent me from changing screen saver timeout on my machine. Disabling the application solved me problem.
If you prefer to have PuTTY and Caffeine running, then follow these steps. Stop Caffeine. Check the Caffeine readme.txt for the default key simulated. Mine was F15. Log into your remote terminal via PuTTY. Start Caffeine. Tip: start Caffeine with short interval, e.g. 3 seconds. Bring the PuTTY session in focus. On your bash command prompt, press Ctrl+V. This is required to get the special code for the key. E.g. try Ctrl+V followed by F12. Wait for Caffeine to simulate the key. The key code will be displayed on the command line, e.g. F15 is 28 tilde, whereas escape. Stop Caffeine. Now you can bind this key to blank so that when Caffeine simulates it, it won't type. Edit, ~inputtrick, create a new file if it doesn't exist. Add the line, \E28 column. Start Caffeine. Restart your terminal session. There should be no more random when using the PuTTY terminal with that Linux server.
I found Shreyan's solution to be the most, but not quite, satisfactory one. Smile. Here's my attempt on improving that, of course. Hope this may be of use to those looking for a solution. Smile. My solution behaves as follows. Caffeine sends to Windows an appropriate virtual key code which prevents Windows from going to sleep or idle. Does not otherwise generate any side effects on Windows, neither alone nor in combination. No Control, Shift, Alt, Alt-GR, Win, F1, F5, F10, etc. Either is not sent to PuTTY or is ignored by PuTTY. TL, Dr. My solution is applied between steps 2 and 3, see below, with the key column 0E, caffeine param. Exit caffeine and amp, relaunch it with caffeine.x5 key column 0E, for easy testing caffeine.x50 key column 0E, for a mandatory screensaver set at 1 minute. Launch read program on the remote host and watch how no keystrokes are received every 5 or 50 seconds. Exit read with Ctrl+C. Shreyans proposed a solution where a fix would be applied between steps 5 and 10, see below. The side effect of that, on my config, was that, with each keystroke that PuTTY forwarded from caffeine to the remote host, it triggered a reset scroll bar on key press, setting on PuTTY/window page which I would normally want, but only when I, the human, is pressing the key but not regularly by caffeine smile. Redline/bash translated version of it, from /E28 to blank key, caused the remote session interaction to hang for several seconds. In order to easily test the above, exit caffeine and AMP, relaunch it with 5 seconds interval and virtual key code 07. Caffeine.x5 key column 07. Launch read program on the remote host and watch how keystrokes are received every 5 or 50 seconds. Exit read with Ctrl+C. The keystroke pipeline, as I understand it. Caffeine sends a virtual key code to Windows. Windows sends that virtual key code to PuTTY. PuTTY does some translations/mappings based on some session settings in terminal/Windows/. PuTTY sends the translated/mapped key code to the remote host. On the remote host, the terminal program, e.g., $term equals term, VT100, VT102, VT220, etc., translates from the line protocol into key codes. The Redline library does some translations/mappings based on ~.input. Redline sends the key code to Bash. Bash does some translations/mappings based on ~.bash, based on the built-in bind command. Bash or Redline, not sure which one, sends the translated key code to Nano, my text editor. This pipeline can get even longer by adding the screen program, which includes a $term equals screen for step 5, and loops back again at step 6 to 10. Note, once it gets to step 4, it becomes very difficult to precisely control the different layers of translations/mappings. I would recommend avoiding that if you can. Background. I used caffeine.x key column 07 for years before having to deal with a pfSense 2.3.3 release P1 based on Freeb's 10.3 release. Then, caffeine.x key column 07 was received on the other side as 28 tilde, which seems to be matched to Ctrl+caret, set mark, in Nano. This was quite annoying. Imagine someone pressing and keeping Shift key while you move the text caret around in Notepad. Previously, I did numerous customizations in PuTTY settings. .tcshrc, .input, .bash, .nanorc, .screenc to get what I consider basic functionality, backspace, delete, home, end, page up, down, Ctrl+left, Ctrl+right, numpad 0 to 9, numpad, plus, working consistently between bash/nano/screen. Once I discovered this, caffeine.x key column 07, bug, I didn't want to retrace that all over again smile. References. Caffeine. Virtual key code sent by Caffeine to Windows. I would choose the first undefined code that works for your setup. Redline/input/bash/bash/built-in, bind. This URL. This URL. This URL. Summary. Unbinding with bind a keyseek only forwards the non-translated keys to the application, Nano in my case. Remapping from keyseek to does only mean that an empty key, whatever that may mean, is sent to the application, pausing some lockups. PuTTY. PuTTY Wish Portable Keyboard, Handler. PuTTY Wish Key Mapping. Summary. PuTTY has no provisions to make it ignore one or more specific keys. It's not even listed as a needed/wanted feature. However, PuTTY seems to filter out virtual key codes that it doesn't recognize as /supports, which is good for a smile.
The issue definitely is with the caffeine application, which sends a key to keep your system from going to sleep. I faced the same problem recently. Clearly, the interval is an approx 1 minute. I went through some of the solutions listed above and tried them one followed by the next. The one which worked for me is quite simple. Close all running instances of caffeine. Go to the bottom right corner and find the caffeine icon on your taskbar. Right-click to exit. Go to Command Prompt, Windows plus R and GT, CMD and GT, enter, and reverse to the extracted folder, say, c:\caffeine/ and run caffeine.exe with key :07. IEC:\caffeine/caffeine.exe key :07. Now an instance of caffeine should start and you should be able to find it on your taskbar. Hover over it to see the message, caffeine, active, key :07. This should now have solved your problem. I see that my PuTTY and Mobaxterm are functioning well as before without the tilde interference.
If you want to support the channel, please consider subscribing.